Hey, everybody! Hello and welcome to Massively Overpowered Television with massively no voice. Oh my goodness, y'all. I know I should have canceled today, but I was not willing to. So if you're having trouble hearing me, I've been saving my voice for 24 hours for you. And I've got stuff cranked up, so maybe you can hear me, maybe you can't. But yes, this was just an important day. And I did invite a special guest, but he is suffering from kid aggro. It's not suffering. May not be able to make it. But I'm going to be giving away most stuff, hanging out in game, and just chilling. It probably is not going to be as long of a stream today, as you can tell. Yeah, this is the sickest I have been in a long while. But I am not coughing till I throw up. At least for the last 3 hours. I'm not anyway, so. Alright, let's jump in game. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I just want to give away stuff. Hello, Hale. Hi, Taco. I mean, this is more voice than I've managed in a while. So, I don't know if you can hear me. I've got the mic cranked up. I've got the mic close to me. So, oh hey, I'm still here from our runs, our chicken runs. Oh wow, you can hear me. That's so good. I'm actually straining quite a lot to make this much voice. Without straining, if I were to talk, then I'd be stuck like this. So, working those vocal cords out. All right. I think I need to start doing a few runs here. First off, oh, look at all the potatoes. Gotta invite potatoes and duckies. I'm a flying potato. It's a bun. It's such a little bun. And the game is not up. Okay. That's my fault, because although it should be there we go. Why grind XP? I don't need XP. Sounds like asthma. Oh my goodness. Oh. First thing I want to do is give away capes and helms. This is my Massiversary present to you. So if you do not have a cape or you do not have a helm, send me a whisper. Massively overpowered. And tell me what you want. And I will send presents. Since you can't hear me, I'll give you stuff. Actually, no. I planned on giving you stuff anyway. Alright, shall we do it? Shall we run? Run. Bloop, 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 bloop. We need a chicken. We need a chicken. Wait, what class am I playing with? I don't even know. I think this is warrior at the moment. Oh, thank you. Can you believe I have been doing this for 12 years? I don't even feel like I'm 12 years old half the time. I'm almost a teen, yeah? That is true. Next year we'll call it our teeny bopper Massiversary. Oh, really? You can't just hit the one that's hitting you? You have to... I just want to get my chicken. Oh! Anonymous said, as soon as I left, the daily boss was giving medals. Can you believe that? That's so rude. Maybe we'll do a daily boss today. Chicken. You know what's even sadder? I can't sing. And the more I talk, the more I damage my vocal cords, so I should be a little more careful, but... Yeah, now my Streamiversary is only 10 years, I think, or 11. Okay. I think it was... I have the game sounds down super low because I can't even hear me. So... Oh, I never even checked the... I didn't check the boss loot last time. Should probably at least check it. Yeah, I've never finished the cat quest. Chicky, 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 chicky. Here, chicky, 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 chicky. That'd be one ugly chicken. to keep an eye on. Dang it. It's mobile age myth, so it has mobily. I don't even want to kill any of them. Wink. Okay, if I don't look, it'll be a chicken. Darn it. Didn't work. I don't know. Let me just look in options, I guess, right? Uh-oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna get full here. Look how it belly flops. Holy crud. I'm just gonna go through as a piggy. Oh my goodness, look at its happy face. Piggy, piggy, piggy. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. This is just too great. I can't help, I'm just a pig. This little piggy went to market. Oh my goodness, this is just amusing me so much. I've never seen it jump before. Oh my gosh, this is just hilarious. Alright, bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs. Bring me chicken for bacon and eggs. Come on. That's not eggs. That makes me sad. Piggy was cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, maybe I'll do like 5 more and then we can go do something else. Right. Flamin' chicky. Whoa. Whoa. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Rah! Oh, mystery again. Oh, hey, I can pick stuff up as a chicken. Who knew? That's a pretty talented chicken. Reminds me of my chicken looking pet in Ion. I named him KFC. I wish I could trade. I already have one, right? Guys, like 3 of them now. What the heck was up with him? I need to see how many people. Let's see. Oops, that's the wrong codes. There we go. These codes and these codes. There we go. See if anybody sent whispers about. Oh, wait. Don't forget, today's Massiversary gift are helms and capes. Helms and capes. Bring out your helms and capes. Alright, Hell needs a helm. Ta-da! Darn it. Still no chicken. I'm never gonna get a chicken. Green eggs and ham is what I have for Easter every year. That is our Easter dinner. Green eggs and ham. And candy usually. We'll have like a vegetable. Maybe green beans. Try to go with the... Neener, neener, you can't hurt me. I have so much trouble getting that one. Look at us, we're just all ignoring the mobs. We don't care. I want to put the second arm on. Did somebody not pick it up? Hee. Yes, green eggs and ham. That's been our Easter dinner for like 15 years or more. More than 20 years, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 25 years. Okay, how many more of these should we do, you think? Maybe take a break and go try to get my metal piece? I mean, think about it. You paint eggs green, right? And ham is an amazing Easter dinner. It's yummy. Sometimes I make deviled eggs and I make them green. It's almost always deviled eggs. Sometimes it's just regular eggs that were painted green. Find a way. Oh, Enderhopper. Enderhopper's ready for a cape. Sweet. We have more people who have the full set. Happy Massiversary to me. Happy Massiversary to me. Happy Massiversary. MJ with no voice. Happy Massiversary to me. Wow, that took a lot out of me. I've only had to mute for like 2 coughing fits so far. That's pretty good. Alright, 2 more times. At one point I said 5, but I haven't been keeping count. Yo, basically, I have been in bed this entire week, except for taking my guy to school one day and this 3rd stream. Otherwise, I have been in bed this entire freaking week. MJ is not used to this. I mean, I'm used to being exhausted and unwell, but I can at least usually get up and do something. Go away, little skulls. Little skulls of annoyance. Oh my gosh. Go away. Okay. We gotta be fast. Bloop, 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 bloop. Whoops. Someone didn't hit a gate? Did we not hit the gate? Bloop, 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 oop. New gate. Ah! You know what? We never look over here. Hey, there's a chest. What's in the chest? Potions. Spin round, round, baby, ride round like a record, baby. Chicky, chicky, chicky. Chicky, chicky, babe, babe, chicky, chicky, babe, babe, we want you. Big chicky, necro chicky. Not a big dragon chicky. Oh, such bad luck. Okay, one more, and then I'll go grind something else. Very colorful. I think that might be... You know, my little one doesn't... Sorry. I'm like in a constant state of drinking from my water bottle so that I'm not coughing so much.
Permission to join.
Hey, yes, someone who can talk.
Hello!
Hey, Arnix, welcome.
How's your voice? Oh no, on the anniversary. This is terrible.
I've had no voice all week. This is pretty good, actually. This is much better than it's during the most of the day.
I'm so used to hearing you voice act. I'm like, this is a great character. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Casting long range heal.
How did the WASD lessons go today?
They're good. So the kids all been playing MechWarrior 5, and
Nice.
I noticed that they were struggling with the controls. So I bought them a Thrustmaster POTUS 1 joystick and throttle, and little Kiger, 4 year old, he just freshly turned 4. He's like a mech driving master. This kid's got
Wow.
he's so tiny. It's hilarious to watch him like be so good.
That's awesome.
And then I got the kids. I showed them Minecraft because Winnie from the AdventureQuest 3D team invited me to her Minecraft server, and then abruptly tweeted, Ardix logged onto our server, built a giant dirt cube, and then abruptly quit. And I was like, what? I mean, I did. And then that night, I logged back onto the server, and I built the cube much higher. It was like a dirt skyscraper. And then I was giggling the whole time I was doing it. Like, you know how like when you're doing something just because you know like they're going to log in and be like, what the heck is he doing? Because I did it for like 3 hours one night. I was until like, gosh knows how, like it was like Dungeons and Doom Nights work hours that I was just like building a dirt cube for that long. And then I looked on the next night and I made it go up to the ceiling. And then to be extra funny, I dug down as far as I could too. So anyways, I decided I was like, oh, well, my kids should probably know what Minecraft is at this point. So I got them on Minecraft, and I was watching them kind of navigate, and I'm like, okay, kids, it's time for you to learn WASD and to be real gamers. And I was so proud that that Aiden, the oldest one, he hang on, I'm going to be eaten by the neighbor's dogs. Aiden, he was doing it properly, and I was like, no. Guys, everybody put your hand out. Make your hand flat. No, not a fist. Make it flat. Okay, middle finger. We move forward and backwards with this finger. Look at that finger and think about moving forward and backwards. All right, place on the keyboard. It's like, okay, now just move forward. Just use your W finger. But why, Dad? It's like, trust me. I'm going to make you into pro gamers. and then we added the A and the D. And then we added moving backwards with S. And I'm like, kids, this is a life skill. It's like learning how to choose what you can do in your young gaming life. So, yeah, so Aiden is properly WASDing now.
Oh, very nice. You know, my very first 2 games that I played the most, they didn't have it. So I never used it.
Doom?
No. Star Wars Galaxies and Lineage 2.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I cried the first game I went into where you didn't use the mouse for movement because I couldn't move. I didn't know how to move.
So was it like mouse where like right button is action and like the other button moves, or the right button moves forward and left button's action?
No, basically like here you can do the 2 buttons and run.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
And any actions are just on the hotbar.
See, I learned, I was an arrow key gamer from, the early days of DOS games. So you would arrow key with, well, actually you'd 846, like on the keypad.
Back, yeah, the very old, Oregon Trail and stuff. Yeah. No.
Well, okay, a little after that.
Lineage 2 was click to move, so you'd click a circle on the ground and you'd run to it. That's how you moved in that game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like Doom and all those early games, like you'd use your right hand. There was no mouse. I didn't have a mouse, so your right hand would go on the number pad or the keys, the arrow keys. You move, And then when you're through your left hand, you would have like control, space bar, and keys for firing and jumping. And then in college, you are streaming right now, right?
Yes, I'm streaming.
This is the... Hi, everybody. This is the moment Artix realized he was in the stream. So I just joined your Discord channel and started talking. I got a copy of Quake, and Quake was it was the first like really true 3D game that like went super popular 3D game. And I used to play it the old way, so I'd actually use the number pad to move, and I was really good at strafing, like super good at strafing. But I was getting utterly destroyed by these people on the college network who were playing with their mice, including my roommate, who we will call Tarmac. Tarmac. He was probably one of the best gamers I've ever played with. He was really like, he was like genetically bred to be like an FPS gamer. And we would go up against him, and he was notoriously good at firing not at you, but where you were going to be.
Oh, wow.
And he would play in such a way that he wasn't trying to get power-ups, but he was trying to deprive you of getting the power-ups. So he would memorize and notice where all the spawns were going to happen, and he would always be there to step backwards over it. And it was so frustrating playing against him because his ability to anticipate your motions, like, it really was like he was looking into a crystal ball when he was playing.
Wow.
So I remember he was the first person I knew who got one of those Voodoo 3DFX cards. His machine was a beast. His 386 Penti. No, it was a wait. Oh, what was it? It doesn't matter. So there's this level of Quake called the House of Chthon, and it's a small level with a lava pit in the middle and 2 floors. And the top floor had a hollow, like there was it just kind of like was a railing that went around. So you could fall into the lava. And it would be me and the other 2 roommates versus Tarmac. And he would, the score was inevitably like 60 him, -6, -12, -20. Because he wouldn't only kill us, he'd intentionally pop us into the lava so we had negative score.
Oh, jeez.
Because if you died by the lava, you killed yourself, so you got -1 instead of just dying.
Oh, vicious. How vicious.
And he forced me to learn how to play like using a mouse. And it was really, really hard at first. And it's going to sound so silly to anybody who games now, because like I remember talking to quite a few people who didn't remember when I was teaching them how to use a mouse, when they would just like walk into a corner and stare up at the ceiling and not be able to get out of it, because everybody does that when they start. And there is like a retraining of your brain when you change the way you play. Absolutely. It'd be kind of like it'd be kind of like telling everybody, okay, we're going to switch to these a one-handed keyboard, and different combinations are the keys. At first you're like, you just have to learn it, right? And then once you learn it, you can do it forever. So I started doing the mousing thing, and man, he was just destroying us. It was so frustrating. Like there were times like I almost broke down in tears. It was so frustrating playing against him. And he he got to the point, he's like, I'm like, I actually told him, like, I'm not playing anymore. And he's like, I think you're better than you think you are. Have you ever tried playing on a public server? I'm like, no, how do you do that? He's like, oh. And it really was like I was like a 5-year-old kid playing like basketball with like Michael Jordan or something. Like, so I went on to this public server. I destroyed that server. Like I was the top scorer, and every game I played, I was like the top scorer. And I'm like, what the heck? But when I go up against him back in the room, he would destroy us, all of us. I don't mean just me, I mean everybody. So then I went home on spring break, and I forget what kids show I was watching, but what was that dude's name? Thresh, the super gamer that won the Lamborghini. Thresh, he was on this kid's show, like they were interviewing him, and he taught the audience how to rocket jump. And when you rocket jump, you have your missile launcher, and you run, and you jump up in the air, you aim down, you shoot, and the explosion bounces you higher up into the air. And the interviewer says, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "Well, if you do this, you can get to places you're not supposed to be able to get to, and you can do it at times when players, like especially professional players, wouldn't assume this was a logical move you could make. See, they calculate where all the things are, and they're controlling all the resources to win the game. Because most people think it's about shooting people. No, it's about always controlling the resources so that your enemy has a disadvantage, and therefore you will win." So Thresh is like, "Here's how you rocket jump." Now I went to my room, and just for the next like 12 hours, I sat there like rocket jumping over. I'm like, "I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him." And sure enough, we went back to I played so much during that break. We came back and I played the first game, and sure enough, I rocket jumped up and I started getting the resources before he could get to them. He's like, "How are you getting up there? You're not supposed to be able to be there." Because in his head, he was tracking everybody, right? So like, so this was like really illogical to him. And then I started doing this other technique where he would shoot at me and I would stop moving. And he couldn't hit me because it confused him that I wasn't moving. So every once in a while, I would do these really illogical motions that like he couldn't gauge what I was going to do. And that was when you're playing somebody who was at his level, like adding chaos was the correct way to get an advantage. Nice. So he was still winning, but now he was actually getting frustrated and it was not easy for him. So on the last day of college, we squared off in a one-on-one duel because I'd gotten much better at this point. I mean, we practiced every day. One thing we used to do, there was this one room and there was, you'd run out and jump out the staircase, flick to the left, and try to hit a pixel on a very distant wall. And we would train this over and over and over to kind of form that muscle memory. Back in those days, I actually sprained my an arm muscle doing quake training.
Oh my goodness.
I had to wear a brace for a week. I call it my quake muscle. Go ahead, laugh. I earned it. But it's no different than doing a martial arts move over and over and over again, that you're training your muscles to be able to do these very precise things. So by the time we were done with all this stuff we used to do it every day. Like it was like serious. I could run down a hall, I could jump up, turn around, railgun someone in the head and turn around and not ever lose a step moving forward. And like he like to watch this guy play, I'm not gonna waste anybody's time, but I just remember like nearly having a heart attack watching this guy destroy the enemy team on the way over to the flag, destroy them on the way back. And while I'm like panting and like, he's like, grappling and shooting missiles and people are just dying left and right around him, behind him, like cool guys walking away from explosions kind of like moments. And he just gets the flag and then he does it again and again and again, like he was a machine. But it was because he trained at this level that he did that. So anyways, last day of college, I squared off against him. He beat me by a very razor thin margin.
Ooh.
Like I was so close. And he said, "Adam, you're getting pretty good. Next time we meet, like, if you don't get like dragged down into not gaming in your real job, you're probably gonna win." I'm like, "Thank you for patting my ego, but I really do like you only really appreciate things when they're really hard, you know? So I went to California and I got my first job, and we would play Quake, and before it was Team Fortress was actually a Quake mod, and so was Action Quake, which became Counter-Strike. Action Quake and Team Fortress were like such unbelievable, like the modding community for early Quake was insane. Or, I'm sorry, Quake 2 at that point, Quake 2. So I played a lot, like a lot. And when I was just like hopping random servers, I got into this one server that was really cool, and there were all these people like dueling, and I'd never seen it before because I always played like team versus team matches, and I didn't know what this server was. I'm not sure how I got the IP address for it, but I'm in the queue and I drop in, and I noticed that everybody in the chat's kind of like, who the hell is this Arctics guy? Like, why is he in here? Like, this is like a no-name guy. Like, why is he on this server? And I square off against this guy, and he makes this impossible shot with a railgun, like clips me around a corner with like 0 reaction time. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy might actually be better than Tarmac. Like, holy cripes.
Was it Tarmac?
No, it was not. And then I'm like, okay, I haven't faced a player of this skill. Like, I just, in all those, like, that year and a half of playing, I never faced anybody of Tarmac's skill level. Like, it'd be like fighting Ninja, right? Like back when, like he was just so far ahead of anybody. So I'm like, oh, I have to use the skills that I learned, fighting, Tarmac to do this duel. So I started moving irrationally. I did some things. I stopped moving from time to time, and I killed this guy once or twice. The people watching lost it. They're like, oh my God, you just got killed by this no-name. How is that even possible? This guy was the number 2 ranked player in the world.
Oh, whoa.
This was that early version of the IGL, Internet Gaming League. And somehow I'd gotten onto their like, it wasn't an official match. It was just like, it was like open mic night for all their bigwigs.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And I mean, no mistake, that guy was exponentially better than I was. But like, I did down him a few times and I dropped some jaws, but because of that Tarmac training. So then I never did get to play. Tarmac went on to, he came out and worked for the company as an intern that I went to go work for. Then he moved, do you remember Ask Jeeves? The web search engine, ask.com?
Yes.
So he worked for there, and so did my former boss at the time. Then he went to Yahoo and like became like some bigwig over at Yahoo Japan, and then he became like an exec or something over at Samsung. So, boy, do I have some stories of him and I when we were in San Francisco, and he was getting in touch with his Korean roots. I guess those are stories for another time. Anyways, is the little one feeling better?
He's doing good. I'm the only one who's not. Luckily.
Oh, just you.
Yeah.
You're taking some like NyQuil to calm down the throat?
Oh, I can't. But my doctor did let me know that there is a special cold medication I can take because of my allergy to stimulants. I can't do NyQuils and stuff.
How about vitamin C? Are you taking any of those vitamin C packs?
I'm not taking much of anything right now because I can't really swallow well.
Your throat's really swollen.
Yeah. But, yeah, can you believe I've been doing this for 12 years? 12 years.
That's
Oh.
an incredible achievement.
I don't even feel like I'm 12 years old.
So you went from Discord, you came from Mumble. What did you use before Mumble?
Oh, before Mumble was Ventrilo, and before that was TeamSpeak.
Hello. Yeah, TeamSpeak.
I love TeamSpeak because you could whisper people in the channel and have private conversations without leaving. I love that.
TeamSpeak was pretty cutting edge for its time. Do you remember ICQ?
I did not do that then.
Okay. All right, so did they even stream 12 years ago?
Oh yeah, they were streaming. Well, June 10th is when I was hired at Massiversary. My streamiversary is 11 years, I think last March. So I've been streaming for 11 years.
So what should we do to celebrate?
Well, currently I'm still trying to grind out that stupid metal piece. I can't get the metal piece. I can't get the necro chicken. I have no luck getting the things I need to. But
Isn't there some rule that if it's a 12th anniversary thing that like we get to spawn one? Isn't that a rule? Can somebody check the rule book? Chat, can you check the rules on that?
I think there's a part I need for my cat pet quest. I've never been able to finish that.
Well, it's a good time to do that because I think we have a dog coming next week.
A dog? Aww.
Yeah. Can I pet it?
Yeah, I feel bad. I can't really talk and respond to chat. I do like Inusa's suggestion that Dirt Cube will be the final AQ3D boss behind every plot.
Dirt Cube. Let's make the Dirt Cube dungeon AQ3D. Let's make it happen.
It's all full of blocks, and then you just have to kill a big dirt cube. Yeah, that would be perfect.
It's like a dirt Borg.
Acer says gotten a hen in 2 runs last time. Acer, you were so lucky. I'm not. I've been doing that one for so long. Let's see. Hikari had City of Heroes to transition from 2 hands to mouse-based games. Yeah, I think my first game I remember... Well, okay. My first games I played, I still have my Atari 2600, but with Super Pong.
Is it a heavy sixer?
My family had this Super Pong. Did you ever... If you go to the museum in New York City, they actually have Pong set up behind this case, and you can play Pong with somebody. That was my very first game. But
is your Atari a heavy sixer? That's what they call the heavy one with the 6 switches on it.
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to picture it. I gotta go look that up.
Well, next time you look at it, just go lift it and see. Is it heavy? Does it have 6 switches? Are they on the back? I think the back switches are on the back on the heavy sixer.
But I do. I have my keyboard, my joysticks, and my paddles. Oh, yeah. No, that looks like mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that looks like it. And I have a whole bunch of games still. But in junior high, we had to program a Pitfall game on an Apple.
Whoa. In BASIC?
I don't even remember. I just remember that was what we had to... That was part of my computer class.
That's pretty crazy for then.
I know. I don't even remember anything about it except for I passed because I got my swinging vine and my guy jumped on the vine and the crocodile came out and I passed the project. But I don't remember anything about it.
You made something like that in in like
It
grade
was
school in the 80s?
it was junior. It was 7th grade. A mandatory computer class in 7th grade. I don't remember. Crazy. I'm sure it was super simplified something. I don't know. But that was our project. Half of the class was typing, and the other half was the Apple computers, and that was the big project.
Well, if you have any other projects that require a giant dirt cube, I'm your guy, MJ.
I can build giant dirt cubes. I love just building and decorating. When are we getting houses?
That's what everyone's asking. We need to hire a new programmer. We're short on programming resources to tackle something that big without disrupting our already strained. We had a big meeting on, God, what day was it? I don't know. This whole week was a blur.
Tell me about it.
I want to say it was Wednesday after the AQ2D meeting, but they showed up and they had this big flow chart, and it was scary because my name was in the flow chart like 4 times, and I'm like, "Is my name need to be in that 4 times?" And they're like, "Yeah, you don't have to do much. You just have to say okay." And I'm like, "I do more than that." But so we're trying to like streamline like what nobody knows except for the people who are building the game is how incredibly hard it is to build anything for the game. And it's like, well, obviously, why don't you guys go and make it easier to build the game? And we're like, yeah, except we're too busy building the game to fix the tools to build the game faster, which it seems really obvious when you're on the outside what the solution should be. And until you start reading all the comments about the stuff like, why is it taking you so long? Because to build one tool actually takes a long time and it doesn't solve all the problems. So it's kind of like we have to rebuild all the tools and we don't have like 3 months to like just not do releases and fix everything, you know? So we kind of have to like fix stuff while we're going. And then the question is like, well, how can we smooth the process so that we can release the content faster and more fun? Because AQ Worlds is just so much faster and streamlined and better and pumping out stuff that every system's like really clean and like they have a flow, and everything we do is like full of such incredible amounts of chaos. So we brought in some people from AQ Worlds to like sit with us and talk to us about the way things were going, and everyone was like, oh. And what's really weird about that talk, and this is way too much information, but I already know those answers and I would try to communicate those things, but nobody would believe me at this point. So having somebody else come in was actually the correct move, because like my problem is that I derail all of my own projects because we're always putting out fires, like perpetually putting out fires. So we'll start on something and then I'll get yanked off of it. And then by the time I get back onto it, it's too late. And then the next thing happens. And like, we really got like kind of handed a perpetual bad hand. Like, I don't know if you guys ever like played a game like poker and just like every hand you got was like terrible. I feel like this project just got a little bit of that. What I should have did is like folded a couple times and just drawn all new cards. That would have been the correct move a couple times. But we are where we are. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, I mean, I can't even imagine, because I do not have any skills for doing a game. I don't know how hard it would be to do something.
You have a lot of skills. You can build a what was that game called? Pitfall.
That was, 25 years ago. I don't even have a clue how to do that now.
I do think that there's a weird phenomenon that happens that players don't realize how much they know. Players know so much, and devs should know that much. But I doubt any individual dev knows as much as a really hardcore player does. Because a hardcore player, like, they play all the way through and they're there, right? But a dev, like, they don't get to play all the way through normally because they don't they have to go and hit these like hard like deadlines, and they're focusing on this one thing, and nobody really sees the whole picture like a player does. The testers kind of do, but even the testers, they have a different experience playing the game than a normal person does, because the very nature of testing requires you to do these things over and over and over. And what's, I think the secret, the bad secret, is that if you've ever eaten beef jerky really doesn't taste good, right? But if you eat it enough times, it seems like it tastes good. And I think sometimes like that can happen in a process. And the only way to kind of resolve that is to bring in fresh blood. And I remember I joined a job somewhere, and the guy came and he said, "Hey, look, here's some advice when you're starting here. Write down everything that you feel is wrong about, working at this place, because in a month, you're not even going to think it's wrong. You're just going to do it on autopilot." And I'm like, that wouldn't happen. And it totally happened. I was like, okay, that guy was really smart. Because we kind of like learn, humans are very adaptive. My favorite project, like in terms of development speed, was probably Dragon Fable, because we could modify the code live on the fly and publish it, and it wasn't multiplayer. There was no like if we were to update the server in Dragon Fable, it was just web pages. So we could do it like instantly. And if a player found a bug or a problem in the game, we could fix it live within like, honestly, we could theoretically do it in under a minute.
Wow.
And it was such a good experience, because like Dragon Fable was at the time a pretty complicated game, but it was also like the pieces were so clean and modular. Like you could edit a weapon, you could edit an armor, you could edit a map, you could edit a quest in the database, you could edit, like when we added PvP, and it was this really weird kind of hybrid, like it wasn't like real-time PvP, you were kind of fighting another player's ghost. So
really?
It would load like, it would like load like an AI version of somebody else's player, and you'd fight them, and it was cool because the community was pretty close, and if you fought somebody that, you recognized from the forums or whatever, like, oh my god, I just fought, this person, and we put all the staff into the list so you'd fight our characters too. But when we would modify that code, like, people wouldn't even know we were basically doing it in real time. But to roll out something like AdventureQuest 3D, and this is what all like, real game studios with big projects, with cross-platform projects, they have this problem, is let's say you're just going to add a button, just one. And I remember somebody said, well, it would be really easy. Can't you just add this like one thing? And I'm like, well, no, because that actually comes from the database, and it's generated in real time, and we would have to modify the database structure so that you could sort these things and move them, because they're not grouped like that internally. And then we'd have to add an interface that lets you sort them. This is bank sorting, by the way.
I remember you were talking a lot about that on a lag stream.
Yeah. And then like once you do that, like, okay, well, now we have it, but we have to test it for all the devices to make sure it actually works on all the devices. It should, but that doesn't mean it does. And then when you roll it out, you actually have to build, and this is what we do every release. We build for each one of the devices, and then there's a publish process for Steam, for Apple, for Android. Like, and they're really quite involved, and none of them are the same. And you always have one that's like worse than all the others, like a lot worse. I'm not gonna name names, but a lot worse. And like, it's like, oh my gosh, why? And then they change their processes so many times. You're like, do you mean I can't submit? It's like 50,000 check boxes and things you have to like edit and do, and like this, everything's so complicated. And I'm like, I miss the days of Dragon Fable. We just edit the file and upload it, and it'd be live. That was it.
Yeah. Earlier, one of our viewers had asked if there is any controller support in AQ3D, and I said I didn't know, but I didn't think so.
according to Steam, the Steam Deck. No, we don't have native controller support built in, and again, that's going to have to wait until we can get that, fourth feature programmer on that can just handle those kind of things, because we built the original UI in this thing called NGUI. NGUI was the best option at the time that we were building the game, but since then Unity came out with this isn't recent, this has been for a while, but they have this Unity canvas which is pretty slick. And what we need to do is take the entire game interface, every panel, every screen, every menu, everything, every little button everywhere, and convert the entire thing over to the canvas. And then we have to build it so that it has controller support natively built into it, so you can just go up and down the menus. And I kind of thought we would do this a long time ago, and then, do a Switch build, because the game can run on the Switch. Like, we could just publish it for the Switch right now, but none of the controllers would work, so it'd be a very bad experience. You'd have to touch everything with your fingers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kari says controller support is hard to get right and easy to get very wrong.
But you want to talk about controller support. So MechWarrior 5, I got that Thrustmaster HOTAS 1. What the heck were they thinking? There is no native support for that or any. Like, does the entire industry just hate Thrustmaster now? Like, you can barely get it to work with the PlayStation 4 and above. And this thing, like, I plugged it into my PC. Expectation, I plug this thing into the USB port, I launch the game and it works, right? Like, that should be how it works, right? And reality, okay, I need to download the drivers. That's okay. I download the drivers. It's like, MechWarrior 5 does not support these default, like these things by default. You have to go and manually edit the config file. Like, what? Like, okay, so I go into my, my users, local MechWarrior 5 something config, HOTAS.config. I'm like, okay, and oh my God, what am I looking at here? All right, and it's like, okay, well, in order to get this, you have to open your computer's device manager, go through each USB human interface device, click on it, go to the properties, go to the third tab, scroll down to hardware ID, extract the hex code out of the ID to find the vendor number and the ID, and you had to keep going to find out which one the device actually was. Then copy that into the config file, and then set up these manual accesses, which no documentation that I found had the accesses. I had to guess at the names based on the default ones they had and the names that the driver had. Like, when you pulled up the thing and you kind of could test it, and it has a little visual thing to show you what your joystick's doing. Like, if you just take the bases out of the words that they had, that was the access names. It took me an hour and a half to set this thing up manually in Notepad. And then I'm like, okay, son, now you can play MechWarrior like a real MechWarrior.
Oh my goodness. That's insane. That's insane. But along with housing, even before housing, I think we need a wardrobe manager.
Yeah, that would be my top feature, is just an outfit manager, a bunch of kind of pre-saved slots that you could just go click, 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 click.
Yes.
I think that would be a far easier feature to make, because we could just make clones of your character data and just put references, and then if you sell something and the reference exists there, just be like, oh yeah, delete that.
Yeah, that, and I would really like, now that's for outfits, but a set manager. So you have a million sets in the game, like a collection. A page where you can see where you've gotten every single piece of some set. And then see what you don't have because it's like grayed out or whatever, right?
Like a trove for every set.
Yeah.
Like a trove for every set. See, if we had a bit for every item in the game.
Not really.
It's
Kind of like a page, and then it just a visual line of each set. I mean, not. I guess a trove could work. Then you could pull it out whenever you want it. But just something that like has a list, like you're making collections, and when you get an item, then it brightens up, and that way you can go and see. Oh, hey, I still need the boots from my garlic darlic selection or something, because that's what I run into. I'll get stuff and I'll be like, well, do I have this one or not? And then I have to go look through 31 bank slots anyway before I started using the search all. I would get like 5 of them before I'd realize that I actually have one and I don't need anymore.
I think we could do that without any additional coding, because like in other games like Diablo and stuff, like you get, like, at least Diablo 2, you have like sets, and it's not every armor, right? Like there's very specific sets. So like, let's say you were doing like the Dage's Legion, like Necromancer set. You'd have a picture of it. You'd have a special like tab for it. In fact, it'd be nice if there was an item in your inventory that instead of being a bunch of individual items, it was like a collection, and you clicked on that and it opened up the collection. You could see everything you had inside of that, and then it would show you if you had missing pieces, because they would be there. They'd just be like, you don't have this yet. They'd be grayed out. And then it would kind of give you a clue on where you could go to get it. That would be really cool. I think we could do that now without any coding.
Because there are a number of sets, frost wall, different things, and then I don't know whether I'm missing pieces or not. And you're hunting, and you don't want to keep filling your bag, but you don't want to keep running to the bank to see what you have. Yeah, we definitely could do something about that. That's an inventory thing. Did you see any of the new, the updated Voyager card, the main plot monster art? If it's been anything this week, I've been in bed all week early, so
I think it was the end of last week, but so we're kind of fixing up the main story and coming up with the like how we're going to implement it after Nullgap. And it does, you got to start on this stuff in advance. So this is all like post Nullgap stuff. But the main villain, Vane, he had some pretty gnarly teeth. And we were like, maybe we should go back to the original design and kind of knock the teeth out. In fact, all of the Vane, all the Voyager car creatures have these like really nasty teeth. And if we're going to be fighting them as much, maybe we should just make them a little more palatable. So we're like, well, the eyes really aren't cool. Why don't we make the eyes really cool, like for everything? And we spent some time on that. And then we got Azella spruced up a little bit, because she's a really important character to the storyline. She's so important to the storyline, and she had these like glossy, like pupilless eyes, and we're like, I don't think you can make a human connection to her because she just looks so alien. So we gave her pupils.
Oh.
It's like, that was a big thing. We gave her pupils. But I think that was like a really important move, because like you really do have to be able to like hate and like this character at different points. And she's really interesting. She might, I don't know, I think that once the main plot line happens, she might get a very Graveland-like fan following if, we pull this stuff off the way that it's intended. She has very little in common with Graveland, but she's very interesting.
Look at that, we just got 2 gifted subs, but I can't sing sub songs today. Artix has to sing.
Uh, we could rap. Would you guys like a rap?
Yes. Sub-rap. Sub-rap. Sounds like a sandwich.
What should the theme of the rap be, everybody? I'm committing to this. Let's go.
Thank them for subbing.
It's going to be inspiring. Well, actually, it should be for you. Like they're subbing to you, so they're buying a song for you, right? Because you're sick, and you did this now for 12 years.
Craziness. First thing I ever wrote about was Lego Universe. That was my first thing I ever wrote about on Massively. E3 Lego Universe.
How many articles do you think you've written over 12 years?
Oh. I don't know, but I could tell you what I've done in the 7 years of MOP.
Okay.
Or 8 years of MOP? Wait, what are we at now? 7, 8? 2015? We're at 7. That would be 3,264. And I did a lot. Well, I don't know that I could say I did a lot more than that before, because for the first year, I'd stream. I had one column a week. I didn't really do news, and I only streamed once a week. So I didn't do as much the first couple of years. And then I did like 5 things a week for a couple of years. Now I do lots.
Okay, so this rap is for MJ, for never giving up in 12 years of doing this. This is a song from Fearless Motivation called Never Give Up, and it's one that I made my kids memorize.
Oh, really?
And keep in mind, I'm outside, walking in the dark in my neighborhood, and all of my neighbors aren't going to be hearing this.
Oh,
and the song goes, I never give up. I've been down and out, but I never stayed down for the whole 10 count. I never give up. I've been out in the rain, but I know that if there's no pain, there's no gain. I never give up. I'm in it to win it. Until I finish, I will push it to the limit. I never give up. I got the heart of a warrior. What don't kill me only makes me stronger. I never give up. That's the chorus. Thank you. Chad's having a moment here, isn't it?
Oh.
We had a special moment, people. This was...
Oh, thank you, Hikari. I think Hikari appreciated the song. That was great. Thank you. I know my whole
Thank you to the people that subbed. I hope my shame and embarrassment was worth the full price of admission.
It was great. It was wonderful.
We could also do some poems.
Poetry?
Yeah, so there's this like really just demented poetry book that I saw in 5th grade at school in the library. And I memorized some of the poems. Here's the first one. Little Miss Muffet crouched in her tuffet, gathering her shell-shocked wits, when down from a glider landed an H-bomb beside her and blew Little Miss Muffet to bits. Pretty dark stuff for, like...
Sounds like exactly what I would be reading. I love it.
Then they had this, like, really dark vampire poem. Let's see, it went... But first on earth as vampires sent, the corpse shall from the tomb be rent, then ghastly haunt the native place and suck the blood of all the race.
Oh, you know what? That sounds like we need to make a, there's the whole where the sidewalk ends. We need a where the cemetery ends.
Where the cemetery ends. Surprise, it doesn't.
We could totally do this. It would be great. Well, give me 1 second. We've actually got to switch over. So everybody, thank you so much for joining here for the 12th Massiversary. Don't forget that if you want a cape or a helm, please just send me a whisper and I will send you a code. And stay with us because we're going to raid over and continue Adventures of Me Not Speaking. But luckily, Artix is here to tell stories
Initiate
and
enhanced
sing.
imaging.
Y'all are awesome. See you soon. And thank you so much for supporting me and Mop. You guys are so awesome.